What's up, guys? So today we're going to be looking at the FPV view from my foam board FT Spear. Hey guys, welcome back to my shed. I know that it's been quite a while since I last uploaded. The truth is that I'm having a bit of an issue trying to get the electronics set up properly on the FT Balsa Wood Spear. If the Balsa Wood Spear is something that you'd like to look at, I will put a card somewhere up at the top, wherever it ends up being. But yeah, I've had a bit of an issue trying to get the electronic side of things sorted. So I figured I'd just do something small in the interim. The last time I flew my FT Spear, I managed to get a little bit of GoPro footage going on. And it really looked quite cool. And I had to play with the center of gravity a little bit. So it'll be a little bit interesting to have a look at how that footage looks and share it with you guys. But here we go and enjoy.
Right, so for this first flight, you'll notice that it's quite twitchy as a pretty low takeoff, but it is very twitchy on takeoff, and usually I find the wing is a little bit, purely for the fact that there's never ever a calm day at the sports club that I fly at, as well as the airspeed is never ideal on takeoff, especially with my method of launching. I'm not very good at doing that, but as you notice as we climb, I'm still rolling left and right quite a bit, and it seems like I have to do quite a lot of correction as to the direction and control. It almost seems very jumpy left and right and up and down, and it's just purely for the fact that we are really struggling to get enough control over the surfaces, and that's because the center of gravity, or in aeroplane speak, the CG is a little bit too far back. So that means that the center of gravity and the center of lift aren't matching up too much, and when the center of gravity is a little bit too far back, it really creates a huge amount of instability within the aeroplane itself, and that obviously is quite problematic from the fact that it's very hard to fly. There is a common saying going that a nose-heavy aeroplane flies poorly, but a tail-heavy aeroplane flies once. Fortunately, I managed to mess around with this aeroplane a little bit longer than that and go backwards and forwards and just trying to get a handle for things. But you will notice that I'm going to come into land shortly, and then I will fix the CG quickly before we get going again. But for the rest of this video, I'm going to let you listen to the sound of the motor. So as you can see, this hand launch of mine is a little bit dodgy, and we get a little bit close to the ground, and as we start to gain speed and altitude relative to the wind, we'll find that the aeroplane becomes a lot smoother, and just tell that by the video feed. The reason that I moved it a little bit forward is that obviously it'll be a bit more stable, and I've also got the option to, inside the main hatch of the airplane, I've got a multitude, well, I think 4 Velcro strips that I can move the battery around and just really dial in the center of gravity. The battery I'm using is a 2.2 milliamp hour 3-cell battery. That battery is good enough for about a 10-minute flight. I will be uploading onto the screen now. You'll see the information that I worked on at how much I'm using per minute, and it'll just give me a rough estimate when I compare it to the Balsa Wood Spear, how much more efficient it is, since everything else on the airplane is going to be identical bar the flight controller, which essentially add weight anyway. But you have a notice now that I'm really not doing anything crazy. I'm testing the cruise of the airplane, I'm testing how it functions, and just really checking out the efficiency more than anything else. So you'll notice for the rest of the flight, going backwards and forwards, that it really is just a case of me gaining altitude and then going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and just trying to figure out what's going on. But enjoy the rest of the flight video. Let me know if you have any questions and queries. Just off the top of my head, I'm using a Volkano camera to record this footage. It's a knockoff of a GoPro. It looks pretty much the same, and it says it records in 1080p, but although it's not really an ideal situation, I'll eventually get hold of a genuine GoPro. You also would notice that I'm trying to stay as much as possible within the sports grounds facilities. It's not always a perfect system, as I wasn't wearing the FPV goggles at this point. I was flying line of sight. So I'm trying to stay within the bounds of the sports grounds, just purely for the fact that it's obviously not safe to fly over people's houses. But enjoy the rest of the video. I'm going to let the sound come back through now for the aircraft, and yeah, really enjoy.
Okay guys, so that's it for today. It's a little bit different to what I've been usually posting on the channel, but as I said before, the build is a little bit behind at this point, so I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of something different. What you see on the camera there is pretty much what I see through the goggles. It is just in a higher resolution. I think the downlink speed to the goggles is a little bit slower than that, so they have to bring it through to you in a lower resolution. But if you like what you saw, please leave a like. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao. Bye.